Hey guys, this is Lucky Links right here in beautiful sunny California, and I'm going to do a pick a card reading for you guys here in just a moment. Stay tuned.
When people attack you and your character or your looks or whatever it is, your response can inspire others.
People fight over what the truth is. Good afternoon, this is Lucky Links. I am going to do you guys another one of the pick a card. We're going to do 5 piles again. This is for the new moon. The new moon that we're entering into on the 3rd, which would be tomorrow, but some of you are already in the 3rd on the other side of the world. New Zealand, Australia. The new moon is going to be in Gemini. Gemini, for those of you who do not do astrology or know astrology. Let me quickly say my background in astrology is I have quite a bit of a background in astrology. I used to have a radio show where I actually did people's charts. On the show, I do not use astrology that much because I don't believe that Western astrology is complete. I started to learn some things about Tibetan astrology, and I thought, oh my gosh, some of the stuff that Western astrology leaves out is immense. However, there are certain things about Western astrology I do like and that are interesting. And for one of the things that I look at is I look at the major planets and what's happening with the major planets, which is kind of opposite of what people say. People say the major planets don't really have effect on. They're generational, so they don't really necessarily have effect on you personally, which is BS because those major planets stay there for long periods of time. So for example, all of those people who are Tauruses, you guys are going through a major upheaval for the next, about 8 years now. The planet Uranus is going through it. Those of you who are Aries or who have an Aries ascendant, you guys went through major upheaval in relation to your personalities, your identities, how you express and assert yourselves over the previous, 9 years that Uranus was going through it. So I like to look at the big planets. I like to look at what Saturn's doing. I like to look at what Pluto's doing. I like to look at what Uranus is doing. And then, you can see what's happening day to day with the smaller planets. The moon definitely tells you something. I've always noticed that when the moon is void, of course, people are more likely to get into fights. We're going to go on the new moon here since I started this with a full moon reading. We're going to do a new moon reading. This is the new moon. New moons have to do with starting, beginning. It's a time to begin things. Those of you who do magical practices, these are the times where you start something. You want to do whatever you're going to do for new beginnings. Those people who are making invocations and wishes, these are for new beginnings. I've been hearing a lot of people invoking and wanting and wishing for new beginnings at this point. We got a lot of wind here in sunny California today, so I got a new pop socket on my phone and I'm playing with how it works, and if I just balance it like it is, it goes up too high and you can't see the cards. It's going to be hard to see the piles, so you're going to have to pick the piles as ideal. I'm going to do 5 piles again. So what does that encompass? So new beginnings in relation to communication, that's Gemini. So communication, how you communicate, how you speak. Small trips or short trips. So these are like day trips or trips in the neighborhood, things like that. So short term or small travel, curiosities, learning. This planet is ruled by Mercury, so mercurial interest. Mercury has to do with the mind. So how you're thinking, how you're speaking, how you're interacting with others, and trips and short trips, games. So playing games of chance, gambling, and cards. There's a lot more involved in that house and that Gemini rules, but we'll just give you in relation to those for now. So during this time where the new moon starts, the new beginning, this is a new beginning in relation to you. So starting a new beginning here, we've got pick a pile. We're going to go 1 to 5. Just like I did in the full moon, you're going to get your reading for the new moon, which is on the 3rd. So we're going into that energy right now. All right, so here's pick a pile. Center yourself. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you release all your cares, all your concerns, and all your worries of the day. I will be using the Crow Tarot. For those of you who don't know, MJ Cullinane. This is one of my favorite decks right now. It's one of my top 2 that I use all the time. She did a beautiful job with the artwork. It's a very slippery deck. However, I'm constantly losing cards. They're slipping out. So I have to be careful when I use it because they just go flying everywhere. Okay, so for those of you who pick pile number 1, we're going to start with 1. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick it as I deal it. You may not be able to see the pile so clearly because of the angle of the camera. I'm sorry, I can't get it any lower from where I'm sitting. 1, 2, 3, 3 is in the first one, okay? Pile number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 in pile number 2. Pile number 3, there's 1 card. Pile number 4, 1, there's 9 cards. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 5 has got 4 cards. Okay? All right, so do you want pile number 1? Do you want pile number 2? Do you want pile number 3? Pile number 4? Or pile number 5? For the new moon, those of you who picked pile number 1. Now, someone last time, it was really cool. They gave me, they put the stamp, the time stamps down on the bottom. I don't know who did it. I've never done it before. I was going to figure out how to do the time stamp. Whoever did it, thank you last time. And they put the time stamps so you could you jump right to the pile. I'll try to figure out how to do that this time. So we got, oh my gosh, this is a good time for you. This is rebalancing. Okay, so we've got the 3 of Cups, we've got the 6 of Coins, and we got the Empress. So this is a time of, this is going to be sort of a rebalancing abundant time. So look at this. There's a couple ways we're going to look at this. Some of you may need to be look at how you've been overindulging and rebalancing your health. So the focus needs to be during this time. So this would be a good time for you to start a rebalancing your health period. So if that's a new workout regime, if that's a new health regime, whatever it is, this is a good time to start that one for those of you who picked this one. Also, mothers who have felt like you have not gotten the attention and or gratitude that you've needed. This time is about you starting to appreciate yourself and give yourself your own recognition. And then there's going to be one more aspect to it in terms of motherhood rebalancing, how and what the support is that you get. So, for example, if you've been spending all your time being mommy, it's time for you to start to rebalance your life with outside interests and outside people who can also give you support and the support that you need for your mental and emotional health and well-being. Okay, for those of you who are looking at what's going to happen in terms of, let's say, your finances or your wealth or an investment that you're making in something that you're hoping is going to pay off, this could be a time of rebalancing. If you found yourself without, this is a good time of celebration for you, and you'll find yourself in a situation where you're going to have a little more. And be careful, again, not to overindulge, because the overindulgence will lead you worrying about your own health. Take this time that's coming right now in the Gemini time, the Gemini new moon, and be very careful that you don't overindulge, or you'll have to rebalance later. And this is a good time to be very aware of what it is you are putting in your body and how you're celebrating, because it may throw you off balance if you're not careful. So moderation. In all things, moderation. All right, number 2. Those of you who picked number 2, what have I got here? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6. All right, so what have I got here? I've got the 2 of coins. I got the 7 of coins. I got the sun. I got 6 of cups. I got 8 of coins, and I got victory, 6 of wands. All right, so give me a second here. So an unstable partnership that you have been trying to build, which looked as though it was going to pay off, didn't. It's going to take more work in order for you to get the victory that you want. So in all of these situations, let's look at romance, love, health, wellness, things that you started to invest in, things that you started to move towards hopefully gaining a success. There's going to be more work involved for you to get the success that you wanted to have. The trick is, as it starts to grow here, and I'm holding on to this because the wind's kicking up. As it starts to grow here, as it starts to grow here, you have to be careful that you don't start to go back to looking at the past and what things happened in the past. Wow, this is really getting windy here. So let me, here, you know what? I'm going to put these ones away. If you've already got the pile, so the first pile I'm going to put away. So let me restate that. More work to get the result that you've been wanting to get, and you slow it down if you start to look back. Okay, so if what's looked like it was going to pay off and bear fruit hasn't yet borne fruit, don't start to look back and say, oh well, now I'm assuming that everything's going to go terribly wrong, because that's going to just make it harder for you to get done what you need to get done. The key to these 6 cards feels like the work card, the 8 card, which means there's more practice for you to gain the mastery that you've been wanting to gain. So if you've been trying to get notice, if you've been trying to get a partnership or a deal or something to happen at work and it hasn't, there's more mastery that needs to happen and more work that needs to happen. For those of you who are looking to get more recognition, it looks like there is a little bit of recognition that happens and then more work that has to happen for you to get the victory that you're looking for. So this time is about investing in the practice and in investing in the work that needs to be invested for you to get the result that you want to get. So the sun tells me that there's a time of enjoyment that's part of this, but it's not going to fully give you what you fully wanted. For those of you who picked pile number 3, that is 1 card. We've got the Queen of Pentacles here, which is telling me, give me just a second here, for the cycle, the next 30 days, concentrate very carefully on what it is that you are wishing for and what deals that you are making, because you may find yourself hoping to get attention and or feels like attention. You may find yourself making a deal that you didn't want to make to get attention rather than to get what you really valued. So I'm going to say for the next 30 days, for the next cycle, it's time for you to start to ask yourself, what is it that I really truly value? And are the decisions that I'm making, and are the investments that I'm making in terms of time, in terms of people, in terms of my body and health, well-being, and in terms of my relationships, am I investing in those things that I really value, or am I going off either acceptance or attention instead of actually coming from a place of where I am operating out of my true values? Okay? Maybe we died down a little with the wind. All right, so what do we got here? Oh, and then the camera fell again. All right, so I guess I mixed on the pop socket and how effective it is. All right, so what do we got? We got number 4. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. I've got the Lovers. Okay, so this has to do with relationships that are unsatisfactory. feeling like you cannot go on, feeling like you don't know which way to turn in them, people making promises they are not keeping. Success comes from ending it and deciding to pull yourself out of a situation where you are punished and make your way out. So this has to do with I think that's pretty self-explanatory what I just said. Relationships finding unsatisfactory, finding yourself in a place where you're feeling down and like you can't take it anymore, like you've been beat up. Things don't seem like they want to make much sense, or you don't understand what's going on. People making promises they are not keeping. Success comes when you decide to remove yourself from the situation of punishment and or pain and get out there in a place where you can nourish yourself. So remove yourself from the unfortunate situation. You are the one that holds the power to do this. No one else. No one else can give you that. Okay, can I actually get this to stand up now? Show the table. There we go. Now watch a big wind come. All right. So number 5. So that was number 4. All right. So number 5, we've got burdens, fortune, work put into fortune bears fruit with a woman. What has felt like has been weighing you down turns in your favor at this point. So things have been, actually, you know what this feels like too? It feels like problems relating to body and actually health problems actually turn in your favor, and there's good news. However, I'm going to say be very careful about medicine, what kind of medicine you're taking and how that medicine is affecting you, because what looks like at first medicine working, in the long run it doesn't. It does not work. So if you're switching a medication and it suddenly seems to be the success is temporary, that's one of the interpretations. Another one is work that you've put in starts to bear fruit and gain some success. So this is a turn in your favor. So if you've been feeling weighed down and burdened, it turns in your favor, and there's good news and a good deal at hand if you do not let your emotions overtake you and you do not get wrapped up in your own emotional state. There's one more thing I want to say about this. Sometimes we completely miss the good deal, and sometimes we completely miss the success because we're so wrapped up in our emotional state that we miss it and it goes right by us. So when we take on the burdens of our own emotions and indulge in them, we sometimes miss the very fortune that we're trying to get here. There's one more thing too in relation to mother and child, a child's burden that you've been wondering about lifts. And there is good news for him and or her. I am Lucky Links. That is your new moon 5 card pile. Pick a card. I hope you got something out of this. My apologies for the wind knocking the camera all over. Share this, share it all over, share it into groups. Like I said, I'm going to be doing some giveaways for some MP3s, some hypnosis MP3s related to psychic development, and I'm liking these. People are liking these, and they asked me to do some more, so this is my second one. And if you guys would like to learn to take a basic tarot class, I've got one starting in the next couple of weeks, the next 3 or 4 weeks. It's already starting to form. I'm building the class out right now. If you'd like to take it, it's in a secret Facebook group. Message me and I'll give you the details on how to get in and the costs and everything. And then if you guys want to take I have one in Mexican Loteria, how to read Mexican Loteria. I have one on how to read playing cards. I have one on how to read crystal balls. I have an intermediate to advanced tarot class. I have a class in Lenormand that's basic, and one in the Grand Tableau. And those are 2 separate courses. If you want to take those, contact me. If you'd like to schedule a reading with me, 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com. For those of you who were donating to keep this channel going, kudos and thank you and great gratitude. If you like these videos, you want to help keep them coming and you want to donate, I'm putting my PayPal and Venmo in the bottom. Thank you to everyone who's given. And I am swamped with appointments since I've shifted the way that this station is going. I am swamped. So if you're going to schedule, schedule. Because I am super swamped with folks right now, and my days are filling up like crazy. So I think that's all. Enjoy your new moon. I hope these readings helped you, and I will talk to you soon, and you guys have a great Sunday.